Hey guys, it's Dr. Eric Shoemake with you from Axiom Health Solutions. This video is very important this time of year, and it's called What to Do About the Flu, 5 Essential Solutions to Building Your Immune System. So is the best way to prevent the flu this right here, or is there a better way to do it? That's what I want to get into in this video. So the first is I want you to start thinking differently about the flu and what we call cold and flu season that you see on the news. There are 4 seasons, last time I checked. There's winter, spring, summer, and fall. There is not cold and flu. You do not have to participate in cold and flu season if you have a strong immune system, because we've realized even through the pandemic that having a strong immune system is a determinant of your survival. Not just whether or not you get the flu, but whether you get these other viruses as well. It's having a strong immune system from the inside out. And I want to empower you on how to do that right now. One of my patients sent me this recently, and I always tell my patients, if you do what everybody else does, you're going to have what everybody else has. And so here's what everybody else does. In the US, we have a candy holiday, which is Halloween, followed by, think about what happens during cold and flu season. We got Halloween, and then we got Thanksgiving, and then you got a candy and cookie holiday, and then a boozer holiday for most people, which is going to be New Year's Eve. And then we call it flu season rather than calling it sugar poisoning season, because that's what happens in our country. We during those times we call the holidays, we wreck our health. We're not getting out in the sun. We're not getting vitamin D, and we wonder why everybody's getting sick all the time. So as we move through this, I want to go through a couple of myths here and then a couple of truths about your immune system. The first is this myth is that your immune system is fragile. And that's what you've heard on the news. That's what you've heard over and over again. Your immune system is fragile. There's nothing that you can do other than stay away from people, don't breathe on people, don't cough on people, wash your hands, because your immune system is fragile and there's a germ that's in charge. But the truth of the matter is you're not only resilient, the opposite of fragility is resilience. So you're not only resilient, you're anti-fragile. And what that means is, like, if I have a plate that I drop and it breaks, that's fragile. Resilient would be it's made of plastic. If I drop it, it can resist impact. That's better than fragile. But I'll go a step further with your immune system is that you're anti-fragile. Anti-fragile means your immune system needs to be challenged. It needs to be stimulated to fight the way it's supposed to. You're anti-fragile, which means you need germs that your body learns how to fight off. Here's what proves my point. This is a great article, and I've quoted this for a long period of time. It says daycare attendance early in life cuts childhood leukemia risk by 30%. So what they're saying is that if you took your kid to daycare within a year of life, it reduces their risk of leukemia later in life by up to 30%. And the reason they're saying that is because these kids they're exposed to germs early in life, so their body learns how to fight these germs, and not only how to fight those specific germs, but how to build a robust immune system with things like interleukin-2 and all the white blood cells that your body needs to do this. So you're not just fragile, you're anti-fragile with your immune system, and that's not what most people are being taught. You're anti-fragile. Okay. The reason we call you doctor in our office, this is a phenomenal thing to think about what your body's actually doing. This is breast milk that are 2 days apart. So the February 11th and February 12th. You see this breast milk over here, right here. That breast milk is white. And then this breast milk, do you see how yellow that looks? It's not because it went bad. It's because what happened to the child is the child started fighting something, and the mother started producing different antibodies that the child needed. And because the immune system that's triggered through the saliva from the baby, so the intelligence inside of the mom knew to make different breast milk than it made the day before to provide the antibodies that child needed. Now, if a pregnant mother can do that, if it can make different breast milk recipes determining on what the child needs, don't you think your immune system is pretty incredible? Don't you think that your body is pretty incredible? And the fact that it is, and that's why we call you doctor, because your body is incredible. Remember, you're anti-fragile. Okay, so let's get into it. What's the best thing to do? Is it getting the flu shot? So, and there's a lot of information out there about the flu shot, but what I always look for is it safe and is it effective? So if we want to talk about effectiveness, so this is the effectiveness of the flu shot over the last 10 years or so, and this is according to the CDC statistics. So the most it's ever been is 60% effective at preventing the flu. What they do when they make these flu shots is they guess at what's the next year's flu variants are going to be, or strains of the flu, and they'll put a few of them in there, usually trivalent, so a few of them. And then if they miss on that, and it's different strains, it's not effective at all. So you saw 2014 and 15, 19% effective. Recently, I think in 2021, it was 14% effective. So the most it's ever been when they guessed right was 60% effective. So are there things that are more effective than a flu shot? Because it's my assertion that the problem with the flu shot is it's not only is it not very effective, but there's also a lot of issues that I have with it because it's not getting to the cause of your immune system problem in the first place. So what can you do to take care of your immune system from the inside out that's more effective? So here's one. It's called vitamin D. Okay. So vitamin D. This was, and I take this vitamin D Supreme. This is the one that we have in our office. So this says, there's an article in Journal of Epidemiology in 2007, and they looked at people taking adequate amounts of vitamin D during cold and flu season. And what they found is, here's the quote from the Journal of Epidemiology, a peer-reviewed journal, says, over a 3-year period, taking adequate amounts of vitamin D reduced the incidence of colds and flus to nearly zero, which means the test subjects, almost none of them over 3 years got any type of cold or flu because their immune system was strong because of the vitamin D. And adequate amounts of vitamin D is different for everybody, by the way. That's why I recommend most people get a vitamin D test to find out how much vitamin D you actually need. But it's just a little hint. It's more than 400 IUs, which is what the RDA is from the FDA. So adequate amounts of vitamin D. And a lot of people ask, can you get enough of getting in the sun? If you live in Florida and you're out in a bathing suit for an hour a day, yes. If you live somewhere else, like I live in Colorado, there's no way you're getting enough vitamin D through going out in the sun. I've proven that on myself through all the testing that I've done. Even though I was spending 10 to 12 hours out riding my bike a week, I still was low in vitamin D. So everyone's different. So I recommend you get a vitamin D test. You can get one of those online. You can get it from a doctor. Online test is only about 30 or 40 bucks. But then here's the other thing. It's not just colds and flus. This is another peer-reviewed journal study saying 25 hydroxy vitamin D tests. So the vitamin D test that you get when you get a blood test is a predictor of the severity of COVID-19 in hospitalized patients. We actually saw that 88% of people hospitalized with COVID had low vitamin D below 30. And I believe that a lot more of those people had it probably between 30 and 60, but where all the research shows for your immune system to work well, your vitamin D level needs to be between 60 and 80. The only way to do that is by getting a test. But this is something cheap and simple that we should have been telling people for the last 3 years. Here's one way to boost your immune system is take vitamin D. So that's one way to do it. Another way, avoid sugar. Okay. Sugar immediately decreases the function of your immune system. One of the reasons that we got hit so hard with COVID in our country is because we had more people with the comorbidities. So you've all heard this. The 94% of people hospitalized with COVID had one of 3 comorbidities: high blood pressure, high blood pressure, obesity, or diabetes. And over 80% of those had 80% of the people had 2 of those things. So largely because of our diet. So if you take hypertension, which can be caused by too much sugar, if you take obesity, that can be caused by too much sugar. Diabetes is caused by too much sugar. Sugar wrecks your immune system. So this is what sugar actually does. So one thing that happens when your body's trying to fight something with it's called a white blood cell here. It surrounds this virus or bacteria, and it brings in vitamin C to actually kill that bacteria or virus. But over here, when you have sugar, when you're eating a lot of sugar, there's a lot of sugar in your body and in your blood, then sugar competes with vitamin C on these binding sites. So the white blood cells only destroy 75% as many bacteria and viruses as they do when you're not eating a lot of sugar and you don't have a lot of sugar available to those cells. So you're weakening your immune system by 25% by eating sugar. So it's avoiding sugar, not eating the standard American diet, eating a great diet full of fruits and vegetables. I have all kinds of videos on this. If you just subscribe to this channel, you'll see all the videos that we have on how to eat a healthy diet and not have to give up things that you like to do it. So you don't have to give up sweet. You just have to give up that white sugar, which is the enemy of your health. So that's another way to do it. And then another one. So this is an article. This was a study done in 1975. So we've known about this for almost 50 years at this point, boosting your immunity through chiropractic care. So this was from the NYU Cancer Prevention Medical Institute. And what they found is that they looked at people who didn't get adjusted. They looked at people who got adjusted and got their spine taken care of. And they looked at people that had cancer. And they found that the people that were getting adjusted, and I'll go through why this is in a minute, had a 200% better functioning immune system than the people not getting adjusted, and a 400% better immune system than the people that had cancer. That's through a chiropractic adjustment. Now, people ask, well, how on earth would that happen? So I put another one up here for you. So this was a study that was done, 2 different studies done recently, and they looked at what happened with something called IL-2. Okay, and IL-2 is an interleukin-2 is a immune cell that destroys viruses and bacteria. And what they did is they did an adjustment on people. Okay, so this was 76 people. They did an adjustment on them, and then right afterwards, they drew blood and they looked at the effect that the adjustment had on the white blood cells and how effective the white blood cells were. And they found that after the people got adjusted, their T lymphocyte response was drastically elevated, which means their white blood cell response to the bacteria that was in the culture in the test tube that they looked at. Those viruses were getting killed, or the bacteria was getting killed quicker from the blood where they had just gotten adjusted, right? So they checked their blood first, looked at their blood response to this bacteria, and it was a certain level. They got adjusted, put the same exact that blood in the same medium for the bacteria, and the blood where the person had just gotten adjusted, they were actually killing that bacteria faster. IL-2 was increased. So what am I telling you? What I'm telling you is there's ways to build your immune system that are more effective, in my opinion, than a flu shot or anything else. And it's not only, and here's the deal, not only is it going to help you prevent the flu, but it's also going to help you prevent just about every other disease known to man. So if you just did those things, if you took vitamin D, you reduce your risk of a lot of things, including breast cancer and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and a lot of other things. You also, if you're reducing your sugar, you reduce your risk of heart disease, you reduce your risk of cancer, you reduce your risk of diabetes by eliminating sugar and cutting that out of your diet. If you're getting adjusted, your immune system is working better all over. That's why I say you don't have to participate in cold and flu season. So click subscribe on this on the button below here, and you can get more of these videos that we're going to be putting together. Quick solutions for how to actually live a healthy life in this day and age, and share this with the people that you know and love.